Hey YouTubers, welcome back to another episode of Helmets of the World. I just recently picked this one up and I'm really excited to do a video on it. I had to do a little bit of research to figure out exactly what I had, but it was worth it, and I'll tell you the conclusions I came to and all that stuff, and then I will just go over the details of this particular piece. So right here in front of us we have a World War II German M35 double decal Heer helmet, or army helmet pretty much. So everybody's like, oh, decals are all fake, you know, because a lot of people do fake them, which sucks, which is requires me to do like an extra several hours of research to see if this is authentic or not. I've come to the conclusion that the shell itself, the paint jobs, the decals, and everything are indeed authentic. I'll tell you why in a little bit. Picked this up on a forum site because nobody else was picking it up, and I ended up working out a little deal with the person, and I mean, he didn't misrepresent it at all. I just kind of jumped on it and bought it, and was like, oh god, it isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but I guess it could be worse. But anyway, so we'll start with the Heer Eagle decal, right? So we'll go under the light right here, where it's really kind of easy to tell. Now, if you look at these originals, we're going to have an aluminum kind of foil background, or not background, but like back coating on them, which is actually coming through in, if you can see that part right there is kind of shiny, it glistens. That's actually foil, that's foil, that's a little piece of it. So that leads me to believe that, just from looking at it without touching it or anything, that's a real decal. Another good way to tell is if you run your finger across here, the decal should be 100% flush with the original paint job. And I understand there's another layer of paint on here, which I'll get to in a second, but you would feel that if it was applied even after on top of the first layer, like not originally, you'd be able to feel that there was a bit of a raised area. What they did is they actually applied these decals at the factory while the paint was still wet, oftentimes, so it would literally suck the decal in to become one with the paint as far as being on level and everything. You'd have to literally use a microscope to kind of see the difference in the height. So that's what leads me to believe that that's an original decal. The wear is also original. I know the GoPro doesn't like to really zoom in that well and focus, but we're going to try to get as close as we can, and then you can kind of see that the wear itself isn't done by somebody just sitting there scraping it trying to make it look old. This is wear that's consistent with the whole entire rest of the helmet. The markings, or the scratches, are not fresh. They're really old. There's slight patina in some of the areas. It's not really fake rust, you can tell that. And there's so many things to look at when you're looking at original helmets, it's just kind of overwhelming, but I had to do this just for peace of mind of myself. Now, we'll check out the other decal really quick, and what's kind of cool is I thought this one was fake, but then upon further investigation found out that it's probably quite real. So you can see right away that this red right here isn't really a bright red, it's just more of kind of like it's fading toward like an orange color, which is totally accurate for something that old and that was that color. The white's kind of turning into a more yellow color from the fading. The black is black, and still, you know, it still retains its color because it's black. It's not really going to fade that much. It's not going to get lighter. You can see kind of the outline of the decal right here, which is, you know, I was sitting there thinking, oh god, somebody put this on, you know, just to make it a double decal. Well, I was reading that a lot of times, especially on M35s, earlier helmets, they would apply the Eagle decal at the factory, and then in the field or shortly thereafter, they would apply the tricolor National Shield decal with lacquer, which is exactly the color and the consistency of what is right there. Let me try to get that out of the glare out of there for you, so you can see right kind of in the middle the outline is. The lacquer color, which is like this yellowish burnt color, is still present, which leads me to believe that it's also authentic. And the paint is over this, and people did that oftentimes to cover up this bright color because obviously it's pretty easy to see something that bright in the field, which is why actually they quit using these and quit putting them on there in general around 1940. So this other paint job on here, you can see there's just kind of this mixed, scattered, kind of dunkelgrau. It looks like an M40 paint job, right? So what I've come to the conclusion of is this is actually original paint over the original apple green M35 smooth finish. Somebody either got some vehicle paint or helmet paint or something and applied this out in the field. And they didn't really coat the whole thing because otherwise it would be easy to tell that people scraped this off and got down to the original coating. So they probably just slathered a bunch of this stuff on here as sort of a dulling or a camouflage effect, and they painted over this decal, which eventually the paint wore off of the decal, and it's still present. I also looked really closely in here to see the little scratch marks from where the decal scratched off. The markings are going in relatively the same direction, just at different angles, so that would kind of conclude that this person was running through like woods and stuff. That's what that looks like. And it's also consistent with every little scratch on the rest of the helmet. So they're no different. So either somebody spent like about 90 hours faking this thing, or it's legitimate. And I don't think anybody's going to try and fake a Heer helmet because it's not really worth as much as an SS helmet. So that's how I came to the conclusion of that. And so this paint job is quite original, and it's interesting that they painted over that and then it ended up getting shown anyway. But that's pretty cool. So yeah, overall, and then another thing that kind of like got to me was, why is the paint on the split pins such in good shape still? It matches the exact color of the other stuff, and it's got the aluminum oxide finish on it, like the M40 paint, the Decal paint. And I was thinking, well, a lot of times these were zinc-coated steel, and zinc would probably allow the paint to stick more to it, so it wouldn't flake off or scrape off as much as like a smooth coating of steel was on top of a layer of paint when it's unprimed. So that's kind of why I was thinking that. Now, you'll see if you look really closely that the washers are actually on the outside of the split pin, and we're going to get to the liner here in a second. So I'll take this off and just show you the rim quick. So you got the M35 rim, which is in a really good shape. And you can definitely tell a fake from an original because of just the quality of the actual rolling. Like, it's not perfect, obviously, because it's a bitch to do, which is why they quit doing it in 1942, and to save on time, but you can see it's relatively consistent. This one's got the lot and batch number right there, if you can see that. And then over here, we've got the manufacturer marking, which I've actually never seen reproduced, NS68. So this is a size 68 shell centimeters, which is about a 60 or 61 liner. Now, the liner itself, I know everybody that's pretty much a guru on German helmets is going, oh, there's the stop sign. I know. So I looked at this. It's in great shape, but however, there's some problems here. Immediately when you see it, you see a gap in the front and the back, which means that this band is too small for this helmet. So this liner is not the original liner to the helmet, and I have a kind of a thought and a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's actually just probably what happened. It's a guess of what happened. So this helmet liner, I did take it out because the split pins had already been removed. I could tell it wasn't the original like factory setting, so somebody had done this. So I took them out. The band is from 1943. It's a size 66/58. So it's meant for a size 66 shell, and it's a 58 centimeter liner. But it actually fits me, and I have a 59, which is pretty cool for the time being. The chin strap is the best original that I've probably ever seen, especially for a helmet that's this worn out. There's the stamp on there, DTV44, which, to my knowledge, from what I've done in research online, several different websites, has not been reproduced. So that leads me to believe that this is an original chin strap. It doesn't have any smell to it, which 70-year-old leather will not have a smell unless there's mold and other stuff on it. The liner itself doesn't smell. It's not stamped at the size or on the back of, whatever. But since the band itself is 1943, the chin strap is 1944, I'm thinking this is a late war production thrown together liner system that the GI who found this helmet saw that if the original liner matched the wear on the outside of this helmet, the liner would be ate up. I mean, it would be destroyed, probably cracked, broken, missing pieces. The chin strap for sure would be gone. So what I'm thinking is this one had a destroyed liner in it, but it was really cool, and the GI said, oh, okay, it's a double decal, I like that, souvenir. And there was piles of these liners laying around in factories, warehouses, and people even after the war ended were using these helmets as like colanders and stuff, and using them for practical things. They'd cut off the rim and put holes in it, and like you could see videos on that, which is crazy. And so then there's piles of liners everywhere, and I'm sure this guy just took the rotted liner and threw it out, and then grabbed this one and put it in, kept the original pins and everything, and didn't understand the whole concept of the washers going on the inside of the liner band. So that's what leads me to believe it was actually done by the vet. I mean, because if somebody's going to try and fake this and just pop another liner in, they're going to get the washers inside. So a GI wouldn't understand that and know how that works because they wouldn't have probably cared. They just wanted a liner as a representation of a souvenir helmet. And that's what I think happened. Can I prove it? Absolutely not. Nobody knows. I'm not the guy from the dead zone. I can't pick shit up and see what happened to it, even though I wish I could. That'd be really cool. But that's just what I think happened. I don't think it's an intentional fake at all because the shell has not been faked. The liner is authentic. It's just not the right liner for the helmet. And yeah, I know all you serious collectors are, why did you even buy that? Well, because I don't have many German helmets. They're drying up, and I love these battle-worn, really used-looking helmets that are authentic. I mean, some people like the minty ones. I like this stuff. Same with my military surplus rifles. I like well-used stuff that you can tell. I mean, this probably went many miles with the soldier that it was issued to. It's an M35, so it's the first model. It's in fantastic shape, in my opinion. It's got very minimal patina on it. I mean, it's got some spots, which are pretty, like, expected. The dome stamp's gone, but it's still the original paint. The dome stamp probably was gone a long time ago. There's a slight layer of inactive rust along the rim, which is totally normal for something this old. You really can't fake this patina look. It will either smell or it'll be red rust, and even if it was done a long time ago, it just looks like pretty much every other original that I've seen. If you're a bigger expert than I could ever dream to be, please tell me where I'm wrong, but I've done a lot of research and read a lot of things from experts, and this is what I've come to the conclusion of, is yeah, it's a replacement liner. So eventually, someday, I want to get an original liner to put in here with a chin strap that's a size 68-60. I mean, because it's already not the original liner, so I'm not going to destroy the value at all. Put another original liner in here, and then get an original shell that's a size 66 and give this liner a home because it is original and it's in fantastic shape. So that's the plan. Yeah, so this is the most recent acquisition, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry the video was a little longer. I like to spend more time on German helmets specifically because everybody wants them. They're getting harder to get, and they're really cool. One thing you'll notice too is when you pick up an authentic German helmet, it's got weight to it. I mean, they're not like the repros that are... They're heavy, but they're not like heavy. This thing is built tough. I mean, it's heavy. The metal has got the sound to it too, like that thick sound, even though it's not that thick. It's just a really easy way to tell that your shell itself is authentic. And what's cool is, like, you can see this side, the roll on the edge either got bent in or just kind of they screwed it up at the factory. It's not like a repro one because it's actually thick and well done. But that one's more like defined, and then this one's more gradual, like you see on a lot of stuff. So it's pretty cool that even the nice German helmets from World War II aren't always perfect. So, and this is an M35, but obviously it worked, and it went through the entire Second World War. And I'd just love to know who picked this up, and like to know if my conclusion is right. Worst case, somebody threw in another liner because the original one was rotted. They tried to get more money for this, and I have a nice $280 shell. But I'm thinking more along the lines of what happened was what I said, because just reading up on things and why things happen. So, alright, well, I'll try to wrap this up now, and just kind of give you one more shot. You can see that. A nice paint. The decal. The skirt. I mean, it's just, I love this. The battle-worn stuff is just fantastic. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Once again, sorry it was so long. It is what it is, and you guys know why I made it this long, because these are getting super hard to find, and there's so many fakes out there. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear it, and you know, we'll probably have more of these in the future. So, because I'm gonna try and get as many of these as possible before they all dry up. But alright, so if you're new to the channel and you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and then if you could subscribe to my channel, that'd be awesome. And then also, if you guys would consider supporting me on Patreon, you can check out the link to that in the description. If not, that's totally fine. It just helps me get extra stuff like this to do videos on. No, I'm not going to ballistic test this thing. Sorry, guys. I'd love to, but not worth it, because, yeah, I'm just not going to do it. Anyway, so appreciate everyone watching, all my viewers that you know, past and present, all the subscribers. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. Sorry I haven't been making many videos lately. Got some stuff going on, but this summer is going to be awesome, guys. So look forward to that. Yeah, and we'll see you next time. So take it easy, guys.